Please help us welcome now Mr. Mike Shelton, who is the current president of the Rotary Club of Lawrence County. As a polio survivor, Rotary's mission to eradicate polio around the world is especially important to him. Hello to you, Mr. Shelton. Now.
Well, thank you. Hi. Hello, I am Mike Shelton and current president of Rotary Club of Lawrence County. If I get emotional, please bear with me because it is. Today, I want to share with you some profound feelings I have about Rotary. I consider it a privilege to be a member of Rotary, especially because it's an organization that has made it a priority for over 3 decades to eradicate polio. I am a polio survivor. Since I was born before the discovery of polio vaccine by Jonas Salk, I know first hand something about the fear and dread of polio. I have lived with the after effect of polio since I was 15 months old. Without the dedication and effort of people and organizations such as Rotary, polio still might be a threat. But because of Rotary Foundation's strong commitment, we are this close to eradicating polio. However, as long as there is a possibility of even one child contracting polio, we are so this close for another outbreak. Rotary is definitely an organization that I am proud to be a part of and be able to help continue the fight. I want to encourage each of you to do the same and to always be a part of this effort. Last year, during World Polio Day, I challenged each Rotary Club in our district and each individual president to make a contribution to Rotary Foundation for End Polio Now. Today, I want to renew that challenge. Please continue to support the foundation and effort to eradicate polio. Rotary Foundation and Polio Plus has proven that no problem is too big. 2 of the 3 strands of the polio virus has been eradicated. Together, we must fight to end this terrible disease. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to ask Mr. Hatton Weeks to join us now to conduct Q&A with Mr. Carter and Mr. Shelton. We appreciate Mr. Shelton sharing his very powerful personal testimony and more about the important work that Rotarians continue to do to support that great and worthy cause. Hatton?
Thank you, Pamela. And, John, you walked through the presentation, how much money we're able to raise this year, and you see Mr. Shelton's story, and it hits home right here in the district that polio, its effects are still being felt across our country and our world. And a lot of times it seems so foreign, where we drop $1 in the bucket or we donate to Rotary and it's going to a big cause somewhere else. But that money has a real impact. Can you walk us through, I drop $1 in that bucket of the Rotary Club of Jonesboro. Tell me some of the, how that money gets to where it needs to go. What are some of the programs that you know of that our money here in Arkansas is supporting?
Thank you, Hatton. I want to back up just a minute. First, I'd like to thank you, Hatton, because part of Rotary is using our skills and our vocation to help others. And you have certainly done it in this troubling times to keep this district together. And I appreciate it very much. So I want to thank you first.
Thank you.
And you talk about what the foundation does, and you're right. Some of these stories, you have to make a personal connection. And there's no more powerful personal connection than what we just heard from Mike. Those are the personal stories that make you want to reach into your pocket and know that you're doing good. But that $1 that you gave in Jonesboro could be going anywhere in the world. It could be going to a water project that we're partners with in Brazil. It can be going to the Heart to Heart project that we're partners with in Mexico. It could be going to what our own district has been deeply involved with for about 10 years, and that is funding Clinton scholars to come over here and study for 2 years and get a master's degree in peace and conflict resolution. And good gosh, if one of them comes out and does what we know, having met them, any of them could do, it would be remarkable and it would be wonderful. But those are the types of stories that you just need to hear to realize that I may not be able to do much, but I can put that dollar in the bucket and I know it would do good around the world.
You know, and that's something we haven't been able to do since March, is put a dollar in a bucket at a Rotary meeting with a full stop coming with the coronavirus. How has that changed our fundraising efforts? Have we moved, I assume, online, and how have fundraising efforts been since this pandemic started?
Well, I mentioned it briefly, and obviously when clubs shut down, many clubs still depend entirely upon collecting money from their members at the club and sending it to the foundation or to whatever project they want. And that stopped. I mean, even though now my own club is meeting online and we still do happy dollars, it's awful hard to get that happy dollar through that Zoom camera somehow, so it's not really working. Uh, I have been, get on my soapbox. I've been preaching for a long time that the best way to give is to go to Rotary.org and sign up electronically and just make a donation, whether it's one time or if you want to give $100 a year, you can sign up and do $10 a month. I don't think you're going to miss it. As a Paul Harris Society coordinator, I say it's a lot of money, but it's only $85 a month, and we don't really miss that. It's just a commitment to do something. And these times, everybody's doing electronic payments. I mean, pay the church that way now, pay my college that way now. I mean, everything's electronic. We need to move people into that realm. But more than that, and Rotary is about stories. It's about somebody tugging at their heart to give that dollar, and we're not really getting that right now. So the giving is down, money is down, and unfortunately, that's going to hurt our district in 3 years because that's when the money comes back to the district.
That's right. That's right. Mr. Shelton, I as a polio survivor, when you tell someone I'm a polio survivor, I would assume you get strange looks from time to time because it's eradicated in this country and almost the world. But when you tell someone that you're a polio survivor and they look at you rather precuriously, what do you tell them?
Well, most of the time, you don't get very many questions about it. You just get looks, walking down the street, especially from children. But there's a lot of good sides to polio, and there's a lot of bad sides to it. Naturally, I think of the good side. I think of the things that I've been blessed with, and some questions are just hard to answer. But about the only thing you can tell them is about the disease and what caused it. Especially because kids, they just don't understand it these days. Even nurses in hospitals, young nurses, and I'm talking young nurses. I was in the hospital the first year, and I'd ask them. I said, "Do you know what polio is?" And they looked at me kind of dumbfounded. Polio, what's that? Now, I'm talking nerves, and it's a past history that has been forgotten. Now, you take today's coronavirus. Will it be remembered 20 years from now? Who knows? But again, I just want to stress the fact that we're this close to eradicating it, that we are this close for another epidemic, as long as one can get it, even if it's in a faraway country. And if I'm not stepping out of bounds, I do want to mention that any donations that are given, there's another foundation that gives 2 to 1 for dollar up to so many dollars, and that helps. It helps to know that we have foundations like this that does still care about it, and for the ones that I'm sure everybody I'm talking to Rotarians here. I know that, but for the polio plus, the plus is all the rest. It's for the polio plus. clean water, sanitation, reading. It's for all that. I hope I was helpful.
Absolutely. And I'm going to share something here from past District Governor John Deacon. Mike, thanks for bringing your personal story to Rotarians in our district and answering the difficult questions to benefit the polio eradication from this earth. That is so very important, and I appreciate you sharing your personal story with us. John, as we move forward, if donations are down in are down right now, and that comes back in 3 years, how can that hurt our efforts to eradicate what, really is the last mile, which is oftentimes the hardest in eradicating a disease like polio? How important is it right now that we continue our donations to eradicate this disease?
It's critically important. And as Mike mentioned, if you give $1 to Polio Plus, it goes to work tomorrow. It doesn't work. It doesn't wait 3 years. And the Bill and Melinda Gates will match that 2-to-1. But it's critically important that we can't stop, because if we do stop, there will be 100. I don't know. I hate to quote a number, but it will just come back, and we will have polio be attacking and killing children again. We are down. People have heard for a long time. We've down to only 3 countries: Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Nigeria. Well, Nigeria has only had 3 cases in the last 7 years. The African Committee, I'm not sure the correct name, has just accepted the Nigerian report to be declared polio free. And it is expected that when the World Health Organization meets in August, they'll make that statement. It's been over 4 years since they've had a case. But that is quite a milestone. That means the entire continent of Africa will be polio free. We'll be down to just those 2 countries. And there, we're having flare-ups there. And because we're taking some of our polio workers away to help with the coronavirus, I hope it doesn't get a whole lot worse. We haven't stopped, but people are going to be spread so thin. And Mike was talking about Polio Plus. That several years ago there was an Ebola breakout, and one of the things that really helped stop it so quick was that they used the organization, the workers that we had on the ground, the cold chain storage supplies that we had on the ground. That's how they got to where they needed to get to stop the Ebola virus that quickly. So we can't stop. And if we can't give any other way, go online and do it. And there's, again, that QR code.
Just put your phone right up to it, and it'll pop the screen right up. We have just a moment here, and this is I think more of a statement, and this is from Sam Holmestein, Rotary Club of Jonesboro. I worry about the anti-vaccine movement allowing forgotten diseases to return to our shores and beyond. We've already seen it with the measles. Just from the 2 of you, is this a concern for you?
Well, it's been a concern, not just because of this, been a concern for years. It really makes me angry to when I see cases of outbreaks of measles or mumps. I don't know when it stopped. Used to, you couldn't go to school unless you had those vaccinations. My kids are grown, but if that happened to one of my children going to a public school, I would do something. It just irritates me. But yes, Sam, that's a good point. And I don't know what to do about it. I think we ought to go back to where you had to be immunized to go to school, but I don't make those laws.
That's right. Well, I hear so many people, well, it's eradicated in the United States. Why do I need to have my child vaccinated? Yes, it is eradicated in the United States. Has been since 1989. But that one child that's in Afghanistan or Pakistan, they make a trip here, it could be all the same thing. It can spread just as fast as this coronavirus has, as the flu does. Until we eradicate the whole world of polio, it's still there.
That is a great way to leave it. Mike Shelton, polio survivor, John Carter, leading our district's efforts to financially support the eradication of polio. Thank you both for joining us during this conference.